Happening now, the latest on a late-night crash in Chautauqua County that left one man dead. And we're seeking updates about a major roadwork project here in Jamestown. When will things wrap up? Plus, a look at how new overtime pay requirements are hurting family farms in our region.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, one person died following a rollover vehicle crash in northern Chautauqua County. This accident happened on Route 20 in the town of Pomfret, west of Fredonia, at about 8 o'clock Wednesday night. New York State Police tell us 41-year-old Mark Daniels of Fredonia was pronounced deceased at the scene. An investigation determined that Daniels, who was headed west in his 2013 Hyundai at a high rate of speed, exited the roadway on a curve just before the crash happened. And investigators are seeking to identify what sparked a fire on the east side of Jamestown. First responders with Jamestown Fire were dispatched to 35 Barrow Street around 2 o'clock Wednesday for a reported structure fire. Since then, the American Red Cross was called in to assist those living at the home. While no injuries were reported, fire investigators are looking into the cause. And a popular Jamestown thoroughfare that has been under construction since March will not be completed this year. This news is concerning for local plow drivers who will now likely have to deal with unfamiliar road conditions this winter. Our Bronson Rasmussen joining us live in the newsroom with more on this important construction project and where things stand. Bronson?
Justin, designated as a state route, New York had employed the help of contractors to complete the mile-long project on Washington Street in Jamestown. However, due to shortages, the project will not get done this year.
You may have noticed there's a lot of parts of Washington Street that have yet to be repaired. A lot of curbs, a lot of sidewalks, still metal plates. We had received a notice that Washington Street would not be completed this year.
With the upcoming winter season, officials are concerned about what the current road state will do to city equipment like snowplows.
As a response to that, Jeff and his team have formally put the state on notice for the current state of the road, the curbs, and other issues. We have sent them written notification of defect. We've asked them to take care of those items because there's going to be a huge issue with not only plowing, but mobility and access and others to the various areas.
In the end, Washington Street is a state road, and the city cannot do much about it.
We heard back from the state. They're trying to work with their contractor to better the situation, but I think it's going to be a long winter on Washington Street this year. So. But it is under their jurisdiction, so.
Meanwhile, the new fleet maintenance building planned for Washington Street has begun construction with a planned completion date for summer of 2023. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. The autumn leaf pickup will soon get underway here in Jamestown. The Public Works Department announcing the first of 2 leaf pickups will happen on Monday, October 31st. Primarily focusing on the city's west side, crews will spend the day collecting leaves from the curbside. They'll begin the leaf pickup on Foote Avenue and Ivy Street, moving west and north, ultimately ending on Washington Street. Residents are asked to rake any unwanted leaves into the terrace, behind their curbs, and not directly into the street. Officials are also asking residents not place anything other than leaves on their curbs during this time. Phase 2 will focus on the city's east side. It's planned to begin on November 14th. And certainly there's been no shortage of leaves falling around our area, especially with some of that high winds and winter weather we've seen this week. Chief Weather Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now live in studio today. And luckily, Dakota, most of the snow gone, but I see in that picture behind you, it looks like we still got a little dusting there in Mayville.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of snow left, but pretty much as we go throughout the rest of the week, it's all going to go away. And, speaking about the leaves, obviously, as the leaves fall and obviously we get the snow and the rain, it makes them more slippery. So obviously that creates obviously some driving hassles. But the Mayville Skycam not showing you much, just lots of cloud cover, and you can see it on the satellite and radar composite. The clouds continue to stream in, but notice lake effect still continuing off Erie. This is mainly shoving up toward the Buffalo metro area with that south to southwest wind, but we're not going to rule out the chance for maybe an isolated rain shower, mainly across the northern section of the southern tier today. 38 was the high yesterday. Another cold day. Started the day at 32, 77, and 20 are the records. So through the afternoon, considerable cloudiness, scattered lake effect rain showers, possibly from the northern section northward up toward the Buffalo metro area. Still chilly, 40 to 48 with that southwest wind, and still breezy as well. But we have a turnaround coming with the temperatures. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-Day later in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a little bit. Thank you very much. As we continue, say goodbye to the 716 area code. Well, for at least new digits coming our way. Look at what this change means for Western New York residents. And later, Senator George Morello, he's expressing his displeasure with the new overtime threshold for farmers. Our Alyssa Wright with how this pay change will impact laborers. Stay with us. WNY News Now is back after this.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Eagles.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
A new area code is coming to phones here in Western New York, or at least newly assigned digits anyway. The New York State Public Service Commission announced that 624 is the area code that new numbers in the current 716 area will get. The Service Commission says the reason for the change is because wireline 716 numbers were simply running low in supply. The new designation is expected to be activated before the second quarter of 2024, when the region could run out of available phone numbers. Now, demand for new numbers is driven particularly by cell phones, as opposed to decades ago when there was generally one phone per household. Well, today it's not common for a household to have a number of cell phones with their own numbers, helping to create an issue of numbers with an area code being exhausted. Well, new requirements for local farmers took effect this month in Chautauqua County as part of the state changes to overtime pay thresholds. Alyssa Wright joining us live in studio with more on what this means for us in our community. Alyssa?
Justin, an issue for the agriculture community and some GOP lawmakers is the new financial burden that's placed on family farms in our community, which will now have to dole out bigger paychecks. Now, State Senator George Morello is rallying to change these new rules.
Originally, it was lowered to 60 hours, and now the decision has been made to lower it to 40 hours. This is going to be devastating for New York farmers, and it is nothing but a political move that has been dominated by radical special interests out of New York City.
Back on October 3rd, the Labor Commissioner and Farm Laborers Wage Board officially lowered the pay threshold, albeit amid scrutiny from farms locally.
We had countless hearings and countless press conferences across the state, heard from farmers and farm workers. There was mostly silence from the other side of the aisle.
Borrello, being personally tied to agriculture, is deeply upset and says this might impact the state's agricultural future.
It is going to have a huge impact on our food security, on our food supply chain, and on New York's ability to feed itself.
Going forward, Senator George Borrello is urging those who take issue with this new requirement to protest by writing to the governor's office and other representatives in Albany. Reporting in studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you very much. Well, sticking with state news, Governor Kathy Hochul has honored hundreds of new state troopers at the 211th session of the Basic School of the New York State Police Academy induction. In total, 218 new troopers graduated, and several of the troopers are from our area. The new troopers will report for field duty on October 28th. And children ages 5 and older are eligible to receive the most up-to-date COVID booster shot in New York State. Bivalent booster shots are the first available that target Omicron subvariants. Children 5 and older can receive the Pfizer BioNTech variant booster, and those 6 and older can receive Moderna's booster. According to health officials, viruses commonly mutate over time, so scientists update a vaccine's competition to be as effective as possible in protecting against particular strains. Well, climate advocates, they're rallying to raise awareness about global warming and our region's role in energy production. Brendan Scanlon breaking down their message to lawmakers.
We all need to face this ticking clock every day.
According to advocates, the climate clock in the east wing of the state capitol serves as a countdown to a deadline of planetary global warming rising above 1.5 degrees Celsius. Below the countdown is the percentage of energy produced from renewables, which organizers say has the potential to slow the countdown. The 6-foot clock was installed in June, and the Department of General Services agreed it could remain on display through November. But as time runs out for the climate clock, advocates say time is also running out for the planet.
The clock is ticking, and we are running out of time.
Advocates from the Better Path Coalition and the Pennsylvania Climate Convergence are now calling on General Services to make the clock a permanent fixture.
We all need reminders from time to time.
They say the highly trafficked area of the Capitol is a prime location for their target audience.
Because our legislators are making decisions that will not only shape the future of the state of Pennsylvania, but the entire planet. Shouldn't this clock remain to serve and remind us that our emissions harm those beyond our borders and extend far and wide?
Regardless of the climate clock's fate in the Capitol, advocates say their fight will continue.
It's a survival issue, an economic issue, and most deeply a moral issue.
In Harrisburg, Brendan Scanlon reporting.
Brendan, thank you. Much more coming up, including a look at a new facility that's housing thousands of asylum seekers here in New York. And later, we examine testing for a cancer vaccine. But first, Dakota returns with a full look at our weather forecast. Stay right there. WNY News Now is back just after this.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights.
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over. When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. I'm Patrick Smeraldo, and I need your help to get there. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes: Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Harrison's Playmakers is a non-profit launched by former Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to connect kids with disabilities in sports. Furthermore, donations for this 3-day hike will also benefit CASA of Chautauqua County and the Stone family. We're assisting local foster care children during National Adoption Month. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. Wanted to start off with another great picture from our friend Dan. Now, this is actually pretty funny. This is a skeleton riding a skeleton horse. So all decked out there for Halloween, which is coming up in just a few short days, not too far away. And Mitch Billinger, who is, of course, one of our storm chasers, captured the snow yesterday falling in his backyard. He said he picked up a quick inch of accumulation from the snow that came through in the afternoon. And, of course, if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense Weather page on Facebook, and always use that hashtag MyLocalWX. And in terms of the snowfall totals, these are the only ones we got in from yesterday. So, again, Falconer, 1 inch, that was Mitch's total. Ketterawga in 1 inch, and Gary only a trace. So again, these were the only ones we got yesterday. So if you have the ability to measure snow, send us your totals, because we definitely need them. So those are the only ones we got in yesterday, but the snow is pretty much almost all gone for today. But it was a chilly start to the morning. We were at freezing even across much of the region. Jamestown, Warren, Titty Ute, Clymer, that was the favorite number. So most everybody kind of compacted in the mid to upper 30s for low temperatures this morning. Clouds still abode downtown, 38 as of noon hour, and it's still breezy with that southwest wind of 14, the wind gust of 24, and look at the wind chill down to 30. So the wind chill is what it feels like when you step outside, when you combine the air temperature and the wind together. Friday Night Lights, Jamestown is back home tonight, tomorrow, excuse me. They take on Clarence at home. So again, another nice night for football. We have had some great weather for the high school football games this season, and it's going to continue tomorrow. 50 at kickoff, down to about 46. So again, maybe just a light sweater, but again, no weather hassles to contend with, and hopefully Jamestown will pull off another win for tomorrow. And to take a look at the temperatures here, it's been weather whiplash this week. Look at this. 43 today will be our high temp, up to 67 on Sunday. This is going to be the warmest we'll see, likely over the next 6 to 10 days, but we are still going to remain above average likely into next week. Lake effect continuing across the upper Great Lakes here with this source wind coming from the north and northwest, but notice with this high pressure surging wind more to the south, and that's going to be coming in here over the weekend. So here's the newest run of future scan. It does overdo the amount of lake effect we're going to see today. The best chance for a lake effect rain shower would be, again, the northern southern tier northward up towards the Buffalo metro area. As we lose that lake connection tonight, the winds go south. We lose the lake connection, so that gets rid of that and also starts to clear out the cloud cover as well. Tomorrow, I don't think we're going to see as much sun as what's being depicted here. I think there will be a few clouds from time to time dotting the sky, but going into Saturday, though, a great day. Lots of sunshine and temperatures much warmer. So the day planner for tomorrow, we start at freezing at 7 a.m., 50 at noon. We'll likely top out in the mid to upper 50s throughout the day with partly to mostly sunny skies. Now the next 7 days of your life, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. And there you see it there. Lots of sunshine for Saturday and Sunday. We're going to stay mild into next week. And it does look like, Justin, by next Wednesday, we'll start to return to a more average feel with just a few rain showers.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Something seems different about this extended forecast. I'm off for a few days, and I like it. I like the change.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
This new design was actually inspired by our partners, Lilly Broadcasting, and it's just a much more simpler way of looking at the forecast. It puts the most important information right in front of you.
Absolutely. You want to know how hot it's going to be and whether you're going to need an umbrella or, I suppose in our case now, snowshoes. Dakota, thank you. Let's get some headlines from around the nation now. And an FDA advisory committee, they recommend pulling a drug used to reduce the risk of preterm birth. Wednesday, the agency's Reproductive and Urological Drug Advisory Committee overwhelmingly voted in favor of removing the drug Mequinina from the market. It received accelerated approval from the FDA back in 2011, claiming it reduced the risk of women giving birth before a full term, especially in women who have a history of spontaneous preterm birth. But the advisory panel says evidence does not back the drug's claim. The committee now calling on the company to design and conduct appropriate surveys on the issue. Well, New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, he got a first-hand look at a new facility to house asylum seekers. It initially holds 500 men, but that number could double in size. The new relief center will provide more than just housing, too. People will get meals throughout the day, a place to exercise, shower, and they'll have access to medical care. That includes COVID screening. Officials initially said asylum seekers could only stay in the facility for 4 days, but now migrants there in New York City could stay longer. Thousands of asylum seekers have arrived in NYC in recent months. That new facility costs $320,000 to build. Well, martial law has been declared by Russian President Vladimir Putin in 4 regions of Ukraine the Kremlin claims to have annexed. The move comes after the new Russian commander in Ukraine says the situation is very difficult. Gloria Pazmino has more.
Russian President Vladimir Putin announcing martial law in 4 southern regions of Ukraine the Kremlin claims to have annexed in violation of international law.
Therefore, I signed a decree on the introduction of martial law in these 4 subjects of the Russian Federation, so it will be immediately sent to the Federation Council.
This comes as Russian-installed leaders in Kherson began relocating thousands of civilians. They say it's to move them away from the front line of the fighting. Ukrainian officials say the declaration is propaganda that aims to intimidate the people there. Ukrainian forces have been advancing through several parts of the Kherson region in recent weeks, capturing villages and farmland along the western bank of the Dnieper River.
What Putin is trying to do there is forestall, of course, any further losses of territory, desperately trying to put the military back in charge of everything, including civilians in those regions, but it's really not going to help him much.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a crisis meeting to avoid a breakdown of Ukraine's energy system, as Russia continues its wave of attacks on power stations. I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
Gloria, thank you. Coming up next, vaccine now under development could prevent cancer. That's right, what officials are saying about this dose.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for 2 great causes: Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well,
I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep
You
going.
just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Catch your First Defense Forecast daily on WNY News Now.
We have some pretty big health news to report today. A vaccine for cancer could be here by the end of the decade. That's according to founders of BioNTech, who helped produce and manufacture the COVID vaccine. It's still in early stages of development and planning, but an immunologist from the Hillman Center at UPMC says this is exciting and provides hope for people in the medical field and those who have been touched by cancer. The founders of biotech say that the mRNA research could lead to vaccines by 2030. Now, before COVID-19, the company was testing vaccines for certain types of cancers, but the pandemic put mRNA vaccines on a national stage, speeding up research. According to doctors, at this time, the mRNA vaccine has been used for COVID vaccines, but they could soon be used for cancer vaccines too. Health experts are urging caution, but explaining if these vaccines could prevent or cure certain kinds of cancer, well, that would definitely be good.
We have always felt that we could harvest the immune system to treat a number of cancers, and there's different ways that we can do that. And this would be an exciting new way to do that, is to use these mRNA vaccines to target cancer. So this is definitely the hope for the future, is an immune therapy approach to cancer and or cancer prevention overall.
Dakota, doctors say we don't quite know what cancer vaccines this vaccine will specifically target yet, but they do stress the importance of clinical trials are especially key here when it comes to seeing what vaccines work and which ones don't work. But nevertheless, for a lot of families across the world, the United States, here at home, it's important to have something, and it seems like at this point it's more or less going to be preventative rather than, say, somebody who's actually diagnosed with cancer. This would help. But we've already kind of seen that with that I believe it's the pneumococcal vaccine that they have, which a lot of kids now get, and that intense is supposed to prevent a certain type of youth cancer. So whether or not they could, say, have one of these for breast cancer or for prostate cancer or for colon cancer, I suppose time will tell.
Yeah, I've had a history of cancer in my family. I lost a couple people in my family to breast cancer, and colon cancer also tends to run in my family as well. So, hopefully, obviously with the state of science and everything, we're getting better all the time, and maybe we can have a vaccine where it'll be like, we can actually prevent the onstage of cancer instead of waiting until you actually notice something is wrong, and then you have to go through the stages of, trying to, get rid of it, whereas we can try to prevent it.
And I think that's one of the things here, for me, a big takeaway from seeing this story is the fact that now with COVID, as horrible as things have been, I think we've been a little more medically inclined about things, right? Like this week I was out for a cold, thankfully not COVID. But even like last week where you were gone for a couple of days, we sort of now almost maybe give ourselves more time. And then B, you see on the medical side of it, they've put all this research to do a COVID vaccine. And I know that's a hot subject for so many people, whether you get it, whether you don't get it, personal choice, all of that. That's not what we're talking about here. But the fact that they can now switch their gears and be able to focus their resources on something like this. You know, I think once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well, too, and also I think you have to look at it this way too. You know, with the COVID vaccines, now they have that under their belt, so now they can take what they learned from doing the COVID vaccines and apply it to other vaccines used for the future. So it's all good stuff, folks.
Yeah, certainly is. Well, that is it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with this live look over Randolph's Whedon Park. Have a great day.